A few conquests of Amir Timurgorgan, the last Mughal conqueror, after ascending to the throne in Bak. Timur made it his right and aimed to conquer all the territories and countries that were ruled by Genghis Khan's descendants. For this purpose, he started a series of conquests and wars that continued for 37 years till his death. Timur's first few years were spent capturing the remaining parts of the Chagatai Empire. He captured Kashgar in 776 and Khwarezm in 781 After that he turned to Khwarezm in 1381. According to 783 the family of Herat was forced to obey. In the following year, he captured Nishapur and its suburbs, and in 785 Kandahar and Sistan. In 1386, he started the Iranian campaign, which is called Yerstrianil, and during this campaign, he captured the entire northern Iran up to Mazandaran and Azerbaijan. During this campaign, he also captured Georgia. Russia campaign in 1391, Timur launched a campaign against Surorda, Khan Tuktamish of the Sarai dynasty, which is considered a great feat of military art from a military point of view. Sarai's Khan Tuktamish was ousted from the throne by Aras Khan, ruler of the Akhorda dynasty of Siberia. Timur helped Tuktamish and restored him to the throne, but Tuktamish considered Khwarezm as a part of his empire, so instead of accepting Timur's favor, he demanded Timur's return of Khwarezm. Khwarezm became a constant conflict between the two rulers, and Tuktamish repeatedly invaded the Timurid kingdom to gain it, sometimes through the Sir Darya and Khwarezm and sometimes through the Caucasus and Azerbaijan. Timur twice invaded Russia to suppress Tuktamish among them. The first campaign was carried out in 13,911 through the river Saar. Timur successfully led his great army through Kazakhstan, through the Southern Army, and across the barren plains and snowfields to the Urals, and defeated Tuktamish in a bloody battle on April 18, 1391, near present-day Samarkand, the banks of the Qutuz River. Attack on Iran. After returning from the campaign in Russia, Timur launched a new campaign in Iran in 1392, which is called Yersh Pansala. During this campaign he conquered Hamdan, Isfahan and Shiraz, ended the rule of Al-Muzaffar and expelled Ahmad Jalal from Baghdad and Iraq. In this way he occupied the whole of Iran and Iraq. Timur had just returned to Tabriz from the campaign in Iran when he was informed that Tuktamish had attacked the Darband road. Timur inflicted another defeat on Tuktamish on April 18, 1395 on the banks of the Tareekh River. After that, Timur advanced and destroyed Sarai, the capital of Surorda, and destroyed it brick by brick. During this campaign, Timur conquered the cities of Astrakhan, Moscow, Kiev and Crimea, and spread destruction through the Caucasus, Georgia and Tabriz, and returned to Samarkand in 798. Attack on India in 1398. Timur set out to conquer India. He reached Delhi in December 1398 through Multan and Dipalpur. After conquering Delhi and carrying out massacres there, he went to Meerut and massacred people there at Hardwar, a holy place of Hindus in the upper valley of the Yamuna River, thinking that the reward was being earned by killing infidels. At this place, Timur received alarming news from the western frontiers of his empire. Ahmad Jalal returned to Baghdad with the help of the Sultan of Egypt, and with the help of him and Kara Yusuf Turkmen, the Ottoman Sultan Bayezid Yildirim was forming a front against Timur together with them, so Timur immediately returned to Samarkand. Fought Assyria in 1399. Timur left Samarkand on his last and longest campaign. On reaching Tabriz, he sent ambassadors to the Sultan of Egypt, who were killed, so Timur went to suppress the Sultan of Egypt, who was helping and encouraging Ahmad Jalal, conquering Aleppo, Hama, Homs, and Baalbek. He reached Damascus and massacred the people according to the law and set fire to the city. After that he came to Baghdad, but Ahmad Jalal escaped before he reached Baghdad. Battle of Ankara. Meanwhile, Sultan Bayezid Yildirim attacked Timurid territories in Asia Minor at the instigation of Al-Madjalair and Kara Yusuf, who were refugees with him, Timur tried to resolve the differences through correspondence. But when this failed, he invaded the Ottoman Empire. 44,000 soldiers defending Severus were buried alive. Bayezid was engaged in the siege of Constantinople, Istanbul at that time. When he received information about Timur's attack, he raised the siege and immediately left for Anatolia on July 21, 1402 near Ankara. A decisive battle took place between the two, which is known as the Battle of Ankara. Bayezid was defeated and arrested, but Timur treated him with respect. It devastated the entire Asia Minor up to Ar and Izmir. When the Mamluk Sultan of Egypt was informed that Timur had defeated and captured a powerful ruler like Bayezid, he sent an ambassador and obeyed Timur. He minted a coin in the name of Timur in Egypt and ordered sermons in his name to be read in Mecca and Medina. Death. After returning to Samarkand, Timur began preparations for an invasion of China. China had once been occupied by the descendants of Genghis Khan, so Timur considered it his right. In addition, Timur wanted to avenge the bloodshed by waging jihad against the infidels of China, which was now the victim of only Muslims. Winter was on Shabab and Timur was old, crossing the Sur Darya, which had frozen over when he reached Utarar. His health deteriorated, and he died there on the 18th of February 1405. His body was brought to Samarkand and buried. Timur's right hand was crippled, and his right foot was lame due to injuries sustained in the battles. Therefore, opposing historians contemptuously wrote him Timurling. Timur as conqueror and ruler. Timur ranks among the world's 3 greatest conquerors, along with Alexander the Great and Genghis Khan in terms of the extent of his conquests. In many conquests, he might even have defeated Genghis. The length of Genghis's conquered territories from east to west was much greater, but the latitude from north to south was less than that of Timur. Then a large part of Genghis's empire was conquered by his generals, while Timur himself went everywhere from Delhi to Izmir and from Moscow to Damascus and Shiraz, and participated in every battle himself. Genghis Khan could plan well, while Timur was a master in fighting armies on the battlefield. The conquest of the impregnable hill forts of Kalat and Tikrit in 1393 is considered as a great proof of his ability. For a comparison of the fighting skills of Genghis and Timur, see Harold Lamb's books Genghis Khan and Timur. Both of these books have been translated into Urdu by Maulvi and Ayatollah. Timur's amazing abilities as a military leader cannot be denied, but the world is still in awe of the work he did with this God-given ability. All his conquests were aimed at nothing but personal fame and glory. He was very strict about revenge. I could not stand opposition. Despite being a Muslim, he was not less than Genghis Khan and Halaku Khan in bloodshed and brutality. In Delhi, Isfahan, Baghdad and Damascus massacres, thousands of innocent people were killed. He used to raise the cities in the intensity of revenge. This is what he did with Khwarezm, Baghdad and Sarai. Only mosques, madrasas and monasteries were safe from looting. The fact is that in this case, like the mules, he too was a punishment from Allah. Timur did not profit from his conquests and did nothing constructive. Most of the conquered countries were such that he did not form an administrative part of his empire. He used to entrust these countries to the local rulers, and was satisfied only by taking a promise of obedience from them. The result was that the vast conquered territories of Asia Minor, Syria, Russia and India, which were acquired after great bloodshed, could not be part of the Timurid Empire. If he made these countries the administrative part of his empire, a great empire of the world would have come into existence. In this regard, Genghis Khan and his Mongolkans were better than Amir Timur in that they directly controlled the territory they conquered. Amir Timur defeated Toktamish, Bayezid Yildirim, and the Sultan of Egypt and eliminated the 2 major powers of the Islamic world. But he could not fill the gap that was created due to them. If Bayezid's power had not ended, the Balkan region would have come under the control of Muslims 150 years ago. The destruction of Sarai's kingdom also did not prove good for the Islamic world. The end of the powerful Sarai kingdom paved the way for the rise of the new power of Moscow. Although we cannot blame Timur for his campaigns against Turkmesh in Russia and against the Ottoman Empire and the Mamluks in Asia Minor and Egypt, we cannot blame him because he tried his best to solve the problem amicably. But the damage caused to the Islamic world as a result of these massacres cannot be denied. The era of Timur is not considered a good era in Islamic history. During this period, world gained less and lost more. Perhaps this was due to the fact that Amir Timur grew up within the borders of Turan Genghis and in a semi-barbaric Mongol environment. However, there is no denying the fact that in the region where Timur established his permanent government, he made significant efforts to establish peace and justice, prosperity and development, rebuilt ruined cities and promoted trade. Samarkand. He paid special attention to Darul Sultan Samarkand. Harold Lamb writes that when Timur conquered Samarkand, there was nothing but a few mud brick and wooden houses, but this mud brick and wooden city came under the hands of Timur and became the Rome of Asia. He captured industrialists, artisans, artists, scholars, and writers from every conquered region and brought them to Samarkand.